Everybody. I just realized I misspelled the title. I was clean on. How about that Netflix chart? Holy guacamole! Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at where we are. Way up here. Yeah, baby. Oh yeah. I tell you what. Sometimes I get lucky. And look at that. There's a screenshot of this right before I get on here. That's my limit order. My one share. Unfortunately, I wish I had more shares. Stupid margin call. Anyway, got in 401 right there. Got my limit order 550. Bumped that up yesterday at like 1 p.m. Anyway, thought we might pop. And that seems to be what we're doing. Morning, David, Sergio, Dex, Michael, Mohammed. I don't recognize your name. Welcome. Arturo, Larry, JB, John, Francois, Donald, Infinity, again. Brian, Gary, Svenborn. Glad to have you as always. Rizio, Darren, David, and just skipped everybody. Looks like I was up at Laura, Nikki, Jan, Giovanni, Cliff, Michael, Terrence, Al, Philip, Jaquise. If I skipped anybody, I'm sorry. Chris, good morning. Rick, and if you want to chat with me, like all these fine folks, then click the link right over here. And oh, I left my monster sitting. Had the white, classic white monster today, and I set it off the table when I move something around. And welcome, everybody. Welcome. So be a subscriber. Click the button over here and chat with me on the live stream. Or leave me a message down below if you're watching this later and I'm no longer live. The live stream only works when I'm live. So morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Thrifty. And yeah, so check that out right there. Kimberly's here. Everybody behave. She's got a new picture too. Look at that. New profile pic. And for some reason, I got something on my glasses. Hold up. Everything's blurry at the right eye because there's something on my glasses. See if I fix it. Better. All right. Better. All right. So, Netflix. Look at that, baby. Hey, Mary. Carlene. Welcome, everybody. And yeah, she put me in her profile picture. Isn't that honor? Like, I feel so honored. Yeah, her contact is she drew a kind of a stick figure picture of herself, and her parents have had it as a like family photo of everybody. She drew the family as a stick figure family, and I have a picture of that, and I have zoomed it up on her, and that's my contact picture of her on my phone. It's pretty funny, and I was like, oh. But then when I hover over on anything, it's her stick figure picture that she drew of herself. So it's pretty funny. Anyway, all right. Moving on. Netflix, baby. Love it. I love it when a plan comes together. Now I'm still banging around. Looks like $9 short of my exit target, but I bumped that up from 505. So I'm actually willing to cash out. We'll see what happens after the open. I may bump that up and just take anything above. Heck, anything above 505 is gravy. So as long as we don't just drop through the floor. So anyway, yeah, ASML popping too, right up there. That's gonna cash out too. Wasn't even watching that one. So ka-ching. I got my order at 820 on that one. That one's gonna cash out at the open. Hey, sometimes I get lucky. I mean, I don't even know. Surprise myself. This is genuine. Like, I really do surprise myself sometimes with these, especially when I trade them. Like, I have ASML. I didn't screenshot it, but that one's gonna cash out too. Hey, it's a good day in the neighborhood, I guess. Don't you want to be part of the team? Links in the description. Just click the more button right under the video here, and be part of the team. So, hey, I guess before I talk about any more trades, I should do this because don't want anybody to get too sideways with me here. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. All right, I get them wrong. Like I ate Elf. When I traded that one, I ate Elf. Elf Beauty. I get them wrong. So past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never get another one right again, even though it looks like I got Netflix and ASML when those were pretty dang big, and I did them with shares. So you don't have to trade options. And this presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument or anything else from anybody, from me, from other gurus. Don't buy stuff. A little dirty little secret. Don't buy stuff unless you trust the people who's selling it to you. All right, don't get sucked up in these sales pitches. Like, oh my gosh, this guy's got something brand new, some kind of robotic AI trader thing, and it's gonna make me tons of money. I guarantee you, the story's not as rosy as the sales pitch makes it out to be, no matter what it is. I try to make sure my sales team uses real data, and we talk about the losses and all that stuff. So make sure whatever you're jumping in on, and as far as financial instruments go, don't trade stocks, don't trade options, don't trade futures, don't trade forex, don't trade cryptos, don't trade bonds, don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. You're gonna lose money at some point or another. If you're not okay with that, don't trade at all. And if you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. And lots of us feel like it's a race. This is not a race. All right, this is not a race. I'll say it again and again. This is not a race. If you think it's a race, like you're like, I gotta get up and run it. I gotta use real money to trade with. I can't paper trade. I don't have time for that crap. That's the wrong mindset. I was there. Why do I know that? Because that was me. I lost a ton of money thinking that I didn't have time for paper trading. I was too good for that. I was too smart. I didn't need to do that. It cost me. I paid for my education a lot. And luckily, though, I got on the back side of this thing and figured it out. I was able to stay solvent through all my marginal decisions. Now, here we go. We have, coming up in about 20 minutes, we've got these Flash Manufacturing's PMI and Flash Services PMI. I don't think they're necessarily going to be big market movers, but be careful. Be careful. All right. Tomorrow we have advanced GDP. That may be more of a market mover than the Flash Services and Flash Manufacturing PMI. We could see. Now, I'm going to flip this around here in just a second, so just hold on. Core durable goods, lots of good stuff. And then Powell's favorite number, personal consumer expenditures, coming up on Friday before the open. We got Tesla earnings hitting tonight after the close. So if you got some Tesla, make sure you know where we're at. All right. Now, 72.2% of the time in the last 36 quarters, we have dropped an average of 13% on Tesla. Is that something you want to play with? And it takes about 6 days on average to drop that 13%. Now, we'll circle back around to Tesla in just a minute, and I'll actually talk about it more. But looky, what we got going on here. When we look at ES, we're 49.21, and that's going to push us up through this 1618. And makes me really nervous. Really nervous. A lot of times when we hit that 1618, after, especially, there's no retrace in here. We just shot right the heck up there. I mean, we consolidated for a few days, like a month, and then we popped the 1618. Could we go to 5,000? If we do on this move, dear gosh, man, that could be the top. That could be like a decade-long top if we just shoot right up there and then drop. I'm not even kidding a little bit. Like, this has got me really nervous right now. We could make a top that lasts for a long time if we just shoot right on up higher and then roll over. It may not be pretty. I'm not joking around here at all right now. Very concerned. We could top out and be the top for a while. Now, it could be at 5,000. It could even go up to 6,000, but this is very concerning at the moment. If we do this and find support Like if we top out today, tomorrow, and pull back to the roadmap line, we've got some legs left to run on this go. But if we top out, if we push it on up to that next fib level and then roll over, break below the roadmap line, oh man, this could we could be in for some sucky market for a long time. This is not the way I wanted it to top. It's not this was like a low probability situation in my book. And this really reminds me of the way we topped out in 2007. And I'm very concerned. Now, anybody remember what happened in 2007? Fly back in our time machine. Time machine, time machine. This was a smaller time frame move, right? Smaller time frame move. Look at this. See this run right here? Think about that low as the October 22 low. Look at how we look at those moves, and then we just ripped straight up with a little pullback in there. Doesn't that look a lot like what we did? Doesn't that look a lot like what we just did from October 22 low up to this high? Look what happened after that. Look, it keeps going down. Like this is why I'm honestly like a little spooked right now. I mean, look at that. All right, this was just a few months. So the current one we just did was like 2 years. All right, so this part right here, that lasted almost 2 years. So if this was like 3 months and the current one was like 2 years, this one lasted 2 years. This one, if we do a pullback like this, it could last a decade. We could be like talking 10 years for this to flush out. And then how long would it take us to come back up? Concerned is concerned is not the right word right now. I'm not making fearful trades, but because I'm not really scared of this. Yeah, it looks like all my alerts going off like crazy. Look at that. Yeah, looks like I just traded a bunch of stuff, and awesome. Comcast even going for it. Love it. So the market's open, and yeah, I'm not scared, but it's starting to be beyond concerned about what might happen next. So I don't know how to convey that to everybody in a way that's. I don't want to freak you out. I don't think you should sell everything, but it's more than concern. It's not scared, but we definitely got to keep an eye on this. If this thing starts breaking down, it's time to switch over to a different style of trading and it might be for a long time. I was hoping for a bull market run. This is not the kind of price action I wanted to see for a bull market run. You see those two little pullbacks. This one was a little bigger than what we saw in that 2007 move. But there's where we are. All right. Any questions? You can let me know. I'm sure my VIP people have more questions. We can talk about that in the VIP channel, please. And there you go. That's yeah, I'm out of that one, I'm sure. And Netflix pulling back a little bit. Not gonna push up and hit 550 yet. Come on, 550. Come on. I'm gonna put an alert there just in case I actually get filled. I guess I should put it at 550.01. edit that. Clicking. All right, 550.01. If that goes off, I got out for 550. 550. All right. Moving on. That was the S&P. I'm not trying to freak anybody out. Now, oddly enough, this is to me, this is saying, hey, we might be topping. Because look, the S&P is grinding higher, yet S5FI still below 80. We're narrowing the stocks that are participating in this high. It's usually indicative that we're kind of topping out. And this thing probably won't update yet. If you want a live S5FI, you have to go over to bar chart. The daily update one only E-Trade. TradingView only updates at the end of the day. So if you want to see this when it updates, and it's delayed data because I have a free, I'm not even logged in. I don't even have an account made, So this one will actually give you a somewhat live intraday update when it gets there. I think it's 30-minute delayed or something like that. But we're going to get a gnarly pullback. It's just a matter of when this comes together. Excuse me. I probably should have muted that. Could we pop it on a little higher? We possibly could. That head and shoulders I was talking about right here. Sloppy, but we'll get there. Come on. Yeah, somewhere in there. Anyway, go from the head to the neck. Right out the top. That could take us up to this 19 or 49, 20, 49, 30 area right up in here. Drew that really sloppy. Let me clean that up. Let me clean that up a little bit. And the only problem here with this pattern is the fact we busted out just slightly. And let me get that on there. Pretty close. And yeah, something about like that. Yeah, so right around 49.20-ish. I think I poked it slightly too low. If we get up there, we're really close too. I'm very concerned. And that's right in this. Somebody drew a big target bubble right here, and we're basically there in the target bubble right there, right in the middle of it. So everything's coming together for a top. This top could last. I'm very concerned about that in the moment. We'll have to see what the pullback does, because this top, especially if we tag 5,000, we could hold this top for a while. So that was actually a cough, not a sneeze. But thank you, Jason. I got this crap that keeps coming down my throat, get to the top of my lungs, and then makes me cough. So left over from the flu. So ES, I forget what the giant arrow over there was. No idea at the moment, but I bet it was a fib line extension. Now there is the possibility. Possibility. Yeah, there it is. 52.25. The distinct possibility that we did a weekly chart. I think it was market roadmap bounce on the S&P. It's going to draw. There it is. We did a weekly chart market roadmap bounce. That extension would be 52.25. So that's why I say 5,000. We could go hit that. This weekly chart pattern doesn't look that bad, but when you look back at prior moves that look kind of like this, it gets me very concerned. So there could be some room left on the upside. I'm not saying go sell everything. That's why I'm like, But the way this is ramped the last couple months, this is not conducive for going higher right now. And NQ, well, there's that 17.7, 680 price I was looking for. Are we going to push another fib, or are we going to get a pullback? This is, remember, 1618s. We tend to not just go ripping through. It's like, it's only like, I think we're down to like 20% that we might go to that high. It's like only 40% like we hit. Do we just rip to the 1618? It's like down to 20%, maybe 10%. I don't keep statistics on it because we don't do it that often. Russell is right back to that point, right back up to that 618 level. Right back up there. Thought we were bouncing down yesterday. Right back up to it today. Watch for that resistance. If we turn down there, that may be the tell. Not breaking higher yet. That can all of a sudden be a knee-jerk reaction there. Oil, still nothing. Still the windup. When this thing moves, it's going to be an epic move. This is consolidating a lot in this range. And boom, got my fill. What's up? What's up, Netflix? Yeah. So I just booked like whatever that is, 35-40%. Let's see. Let's do the math really quickly. Let's pop this. Let's pop up calculator. There we go. And so I made $49. Let's just round it off. 49 divided by 401. Yeah. Is that right? It doesn't seem right. No, I made $149. Duh. I was like, that's not right. It's $149. Ding, ding. $149 divided by 401. There we go. 37.1%. Not bad. You can do this stuff on shares. That was, I bought in late October, so November, December, January, 3-month hold, 37%. Hey, that's the only trade you would have had to do for a year, and crushed the S&P 500 last year. So that was pretty sweet. Pretty freaking sweet. Like, JT, you're missing out on... I don't care. Like, I'm done. That trade is done for me. That trade... Netflix is now dead to me until it does another retrace. Don't follow the hype at this point. Like, it can keep running right up to the prior high. Don't care at this point. Don't care. I got my piece. I'm out of the way. This is like same thing I did on AMD, same thing I did on NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA, I was in down here when nobody was talking about it. I was getting in it. I got in at 150. I got out right up in here. Actually, I think I got out before it gapped up. Right at 320. That was 100% gain on shares. So, yeah, I got 149. I got you, Susan. Thank you. Yeah, skip the 100. 100, whatever. Anyway, you can do this stuff. You just got to find the good stuff, right? Find the good setups. When they're up here, you just got to put your blinders on. Just got to buy. Yeah. No, it wouldn't. It was. All right. You want to know what it was? Why did JT buy down here? It was a measured bounce setup. Let me show you. I teach a fib class. I taught it 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. This was a measured bounce setup, and I was pretty certain when it broke back above here, we were going on higher. And this is actually a logarithmic scale thing. See how I held that support right there? This is like upside down from what Russell's doing right now. We ran up, found support right on the 618. That candle. You see how this candle dropped down? I went above that. When we broke above that, I bought. And I was probably bought at 153. I don't remember. It was a while ago. That was like January last year, a year ago. And then I'm pretty sure I sold it out right here at 310 probably. But this was a reversal setup. And anything over 260 was like gravy. So all right. That's why I traded that one. And that's why, like, so Netflix was, yes, a roadmap bounce and a gap fill trade. Like, we bounced off the roadmap line. It was 3-day, I think. 3-day. Draw in. Go. Go. Still calculating. There he goes. Yeah, 3-day. There's a 3-day bounce. Just like the S&P 500. Bought in at 4-1 right as we busted up through that. See those candles, how it was all coming down, coming down, coming down. I bought on the top of that at 4-1, out at 550. This pattern works. Like, you just got to trade the good stuff. Ignore all the garbage out there. And why did I go with shares? That's the question. Why shares on NVIDIA? Why shares on Netflix? Because I don't know how long the trade was going to take. Like, I could have been waiting for this till May. You know what? There's not on shares. There's not theta decay. There's not time decay on shares. There can be on things that pay a high dividend, and ETFs. ETFs do have theta decay. It's called management fees. But regular stocks don't have any kind of decay. So there's your lesson for today. All right, moving on. Gold, probably still coming down to the roadmap line. Bitcoin. What am I? Custom indicator taking a minute to calculate here today. Bitcoin, I would watch out for this. Unfortunately, we have set up a condition where maybe we hold on to that gap fill on the futures. But if we don't, coming down here, get a little reprieve today. News yesterday. Oh my gosh, they're gonna sell. The U.S. government's gonna liquidate all their confiscated Bitcoin, and FTX is gonna liquidate, and Mt. Gox is gonna liquidate, and this, that, and the other is gonna liquidate. Nobody's liquidating. The ETFs have already bought 460,000 Bitcoins between them. That's the new ones, not counting GBTC, which is liquidating, which somebody was like, JT, why do you think they're liquidating? They haven't had a redemption mechanism. Like, people bought Bitcoin and then committed it to GBTC Trust. And then they the redemption mechanism, they decided they weren't going to honor the redemption mechanism or whatever it was. And there's a whole big spat. And so converting to the ETF, now there's a redemption mechanism back in place. And if your Bitcoin was tied up in that trust, you can get your Bitcoin back now. And so it's not necessarily money moving off the high fees, which it is in, some cases. They're moving off that 1.5% management fee to other fees, because like IBIT, well, a lot of them have discount fees right now, but BlackRock, their management fee, see if they have it on here. Yeah, expense ratio right now 0.12% versus GBTC, whose expense ratio, or expense, whatever you want to call it, expense ratio 1.5% right there. Call it a ratio. It's just a management fee, and that's just all that is the sponsor fee. Like, that's Grayscale's fee. Grayscale is taking a 1.5% fee. There's still expenses on top of that. Like whatever it costs to move the Bitcoin and manage it, and whatever they're paying Coinbase, that gets added on top of this. So, and it comes out daily. Like they take the expenses divided by 365 and take it out daily. Take it out of the share price. So this thing decays, whether you know it or not. This one decays at 1.5% a year. Something like IBIT, only 0.12% a year. I think that bumps up to 0.25% a year. And then FBTC, if you want to go somewhere that's not keeping their stuff at Coinbase, you have a 0.75% expense ratio. They have I think there's a discount window until July on that one. For Fidelity, you want to know how much Bitcoin you get for that money, you got to go look at their prospectus. If there's a link for it on here, or just Google FBTC ETF prospectus, and you can go see the page and how much Bitcoin they hold per, what the basket size is and how much Bitcoin that represents. It's different for every single one of them. There's no commonality between the 11 spot ETFs that are out there right now. One spot started at $3 million, and BlackRock iShares started at $500 million. So they're not even like the same playing field. Like they all weren't all the same size. They weren't all the same fees. It's a vastly different landscape for these ETFs. So be careful on those. There's no options available on any spot ETF yet. I expected it would be 2 to 4 weeks before they create the options, then probably another 2 to 4 weeks before they actually get liquidity in them enough to even consider trading them. So do be careful. Ethereum still hanging out below this uptrend line of the lows, which is usually indicative that we're going to see this. But one pattern we often see is when it breaks down, we retest the trend line, and then do the move. And that may be what we see on Bitcoin too. We may go rally right back up, bounce off the bottom of the trend, and come down here. Let me know in the chat if you're surprised that we're actually pulling back since the ETF approval, because I put a giant blue arrow on here to express my concern that once we got the ETF approval, we were going to pull back into halving. I think this may, we could see this actually rally up possibly like this, and then go on another dip here. That'd be the first move down, the second move, the retrace, and then the next move down. And look at that 618 right there. I kind of got it proportionally correct. And then we can see it extend right down in this zone. So if we do get a rally right back up to that 45,000 area and we hold and turn down, that's probably what we're doing right there. Any questions? Let me know in the chat, or hit me up in Discord later. If you want to come join Discord, if you're watching this, you're like, Discord? What is this magical communication tool? Link is in the description. It's like $5 to get in the market roadmap. And in the members area, I give you a link to get into my Discord. So, and remember, if I said anything that's helpful, give me a like on the video. I appreciate it. That was Ethereum. That was the Bitcoin. That's the dollar rejecting. We rejected the roadmap line. Look at that. Somebody said we might do that. Here's the support right now. Once we get below that, probably go down here below 100. Netflix, next target up. Like, JT, where's the next target up? Once we break above here, well, I do expect some kind of pullback, but next target's up the prior high. Tesla, earnings today. And like I mentioned, 72% of the time. Now let me read this off to you. I've got it written right here. Let me read it off. Using 36 earnings back to 2015, 72.22% of the time, Tesla drops an average of 13% in an average of 6 days. So what does that do from Tesla right here? It doesn't matter. Up or down, top of trend, bottom of trend, doesn't matter. I've checked all that stuff. So 13% down. Look where it puts us. Dun, 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 dun. Right in the target. And 6 days, 6 bars, 8 days drawn. Takes us out to next week during FOMC. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Could it pop? Yeah, it happens, what, 28% of the time? 28% of the time we go up, and there's no real consistent up move it's statistically insignificant at this point for up moves. I don't really have a statistic for that, but 72.2% of the time. And the last 2 quarters did that drop and actually exceeded. They went down 20-something%. So be careful, be cautious. It's your money. I'm just trying to help you. All right. I did close my shorts. I closed TSLS and TSLQ. I'm testing out some trades, and I needed more cash to be able to test out some trades. They were capital-intensive trades, and I couldn't sit in shares on TSLS and TSLQ in 100-share quantities. So that still was chart of the week last week, and still looking for that 180 price target. ASML, get lucky again. Amazed myself. Look where it stopped. Right on the money. I wasn't even sure that one was going to work. I mean, that one I only had for what? I bought it. I bought it in December. Early December. So I had it for a month and a half. Month and a half-ish. That was another pretty sweet one. Let's see. Got some Slack messages, looks like. So that one, let's see what I made on that one. Got in at, I think I was in at 7:0. Let's just say I made $100 on that one. I know I got out at 820. That was the price. 13.8%, 13.9% in 45 days. Not bad. Not bad at all. The options were ridiculous. I mean, if you could afford an option and you did that, like, good on you. It probably really made you sick right here. For me, I was just break even. Like, it was down a couple bucks. And I was just like, meh, it's okay. I'm fine unless we break down back here. And ka-chow. So this stuff works. Anyway, got a lot of stuff to talk about, and it's already almost 10. ELV, Levance. Don't trade healthcare right now. It's not doing bullish things yet. That's hitting resistance where we've hit resistance before. Now is time to book or look for protecting your profit on now. ISRG, well, getting right up in the zone. 384, possibly 419 if we keep going. KLAC. 710. 710, 720. I didn't remember. I can't remember them all. Can't trade them all either. That's some people are like, JT, why don't you trade XYZ? It's got your pattern. I can't trade them all. Do my best to pick what I think is going to be the best. That one right up to extensions. It may find resistance. Look at that one going for the 1618. I think yesterday I said that was lagging. Trying to catch back up. 291. SAP. And that concerns me too, that it would start gapping up toward that 1618 without retracing at all. I know it's tied to NASDAQ basically, since it's a FANG leveraged ETF thing. ATN, an exchange traded note. It's actually a note. danger. That's like, just close that trade. Close that trade if you've got it. SAP is ludicrous levels. Watch out for a retrace on that one. MSTR, we are going to potentially bounce. It was up pre-market. Now it's down. Of course, right? Right now, it's an entry above here aggressively. And as long as we chop down here, don't touch this yet. We can go down here. This is not a trade yet. It's got potential. It's on the watch list. Check it daily, but don't get into it till we, set your alerts up here, 525. Don't try to catch the knife. Look at these. Look at these moves. Look at these candles. You don't think you can do more of that? What if Bitcoin goes on down to the roadmap line? Yeah, DWAC is down here at the bottom. Look at that. We were up here. Now coming back. Could we pop again? We could, but it's not going to surprise me one bit when we come back down to this 20 area. Probably going to come back down in this zone sooner or later. Where was I? I was way up here. List is big today. Golly. PGR. Progressive. Yes, the insurance funk is over for now. That's being ridiculous. Be careful. If you caught it, try to get some profits. Book them in before it reverses on you. S&PS, that's looking like we're setting up to pop out to 596. It's not one on my, that's not really a trade on my radar at this point. This pullback isn't what I look for, but that'll probably work. 596. I mean, it may work. I don't know. Probably may. Remember, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just pointing out some stuff. EDU, as long as it's making a lower high, watch out. That could be 3 waves up, and we could do a deeper retrace. If we break out above the highs, we may be on the path to go up here. TEL, that's chopping sideways. The roadmap line's flat. Look, like, you want to know a quick way to know if you should think about getting involved. Like this one, the roadmap line's pretty much telling you we're likely to keep going up until we get below it. This one, saying it's sideways choppy. Like we're up a little, down a little, up a little, down a little. I mean, it's like, it's been doing that for years. SMCI, starting to curve up a little bit, but watch out. This is indicating we're topping out right now. And we got earnings coming up. Do you want to gamble on that? 5 days from now, next Monday. Their financials, I mean, unlike NVIDIA, their price to sales is only 3. So they could go higher and not be stupid, but and their price to earnings is 40, which I don't know. That's a little ridiculous, but price to sales is only 3. It shows there's a lot of weight put on the earnings, but not so much on the sales. So they have a high cost of goods sold. Costs a lot of money for the stuff they sell, and their gross profit's not that big for how much product they're moving. Low margin is what that means. Nope, wrong button. It's just being sideways. Has opportunity. Has potential to go to 470 on top of the box. And where's that box come from? Right back there, those highs from back in 22 on the way down. already finding resistance, getting up in there. We could pop it. Could keep on going 511, but a little bit of gambling at that point, or for me right now. Spot. This was a nice trade earlier in the year, or earlier last year, I guess. At this point, consolidate. Look, classic. We retraced right back to the breakout, and then went for the 1618. I don't usually trade those, but we do that a lot. Pretty sweet right there. Pretty sweet. That move can be done. We're due one of these. Haven't done one since back here in the summer. You could say right there too, in the fall. Notably, this chart does not look like the S&P or the NASDAQ. All right. That means we could be do that even without S&P or NASDAQ doing that. LRN. That's a wiki candle. That's pop and drop. Roadmap line would be the next expectation. Kura. That's a medtech, biotech. No. NetEase. Watch for that drop. That was a 3-wave move. I think I drew this last night on this one. Maybe. See where that 1272 puts us? Right there. Right in the target. Watch out. I wouldn't bet on that one. Snowflake. Oh, trying to break out. Finally. Trying. 226 would be the next upside if it can muster it. And it came up short. Retraced. Popping up. May retrace and pop up again. That's the incremental benefit. You notice the ones I was trading, I could make $100 on a share. These, we're only looking like, what, $15 moves, maybe close to $20 moves. Those aren't the kind of things I want to get involved in. I'm looking for big moves, not big potentials, and happen to get them right sometimes. AMAT still got resistance up there at the head and shoulders target. It may ramp right up there and find resistance. 190. Meta. And ultimate target, prior high. I believe that was prior high. No, that's extension. That's the extension of the whole big correction. Sorry. That was the giant correction that we did from September 21 down to the low of November 22. That would be the extension lined up with the 3618 of this little pullback in there. The last time it almost hit the roadmap line. So that may be where it's headed. If it does, I would be very careful because it's starting to look exponential. Exponential things tend to come exponentially right back. Coin still looking for that to tap the roadmap line. I'm not really interested in building a new position yet unless we do that. I don't know. I want to see it hit that. That's what I kind of want to see. If we do that and bounce up, I'll probably add something. I do have a kind of bearish outlook on Bitcoin through the halving, so I'm less enthusiastic about trying to jump into new stuff unless it just is going to prove it to me. AMD can keep climbing this fib ladder. We have ridiculous levels all the way up there. At some point, though, we're going to do a retrace, and it's going to be probably pretty deep. We could be talking back down in this 85 area at this point. Be careful. It's closer to the top than it is to the bottom. ZS, probably closer to the top than it is the bottom. ALB, that one continues to look pretty horrible. Probably going to do an extension lower. CRM is probably closer to the top than it is the bottom. We haven't done the retrace. I keep thinking we're probably going to do. DPST, bank bull potential. If we break out above this gap And actually, that gap is probably up here because we closed up there. If we break out above that, we could go up. Otherwise, I'm not really interested in that one. Baidu, need to break through the roadmap line. Retracing, like, look at those gaps. Nasty. We need to get back up through this crap. That could still be a measured bounce. We didn't break down below the 786 yet. If we get below that 786, watch out below. Evax, biotech. Come on. Biotech, APH. I've never looked at this chart, I don't think. 1272 of that little pullback. 1618 at 103. It's not really big upside targets. The downside potential is much bigger than the upside potential. The risk, like when I talk about a lot of these, the risk of retracing the roadmap line is bigger than the potential gain for going on up the fib ladder. That's a key thing I look at. Like, what's the risk to reward? If we're hanging out down here making an industry, we're at support, and the upside potential is big. If we're up here doing a consolidation and extension, the upside potential is small compared to you can see this, right? Like, that's big, much bigger than that right there. See this little guy? Upside potential versus downside potential. FSLR looks like potential to go down, and lost about a third of the stream. Guess nobody wants to hang out with me today past 10 o'clock. So remember, if I said anything that was beneficial, give me a like. PDD just kind of hanging, probably gonna go sideways. ENPH, the list was long today. ENPH just kind of bearish, still below the roadmap line. Roku potentially bouncing, gonna have to get up through that resistance to go higher to 117. FUTU, that looks like we're turning bearish. FCX popping, but that's just sideways choppiness. Logitech, I mean, I use Logitech. Looks like we're gonna come back to the roadmap line. That may retrace a little bit. Where was the high? It was actually right there, it looks like. Could come up into this area. Watch for resistance here. If you're chasing this one, that would be the flip point where we tip the odds to going higher. Otherwise, we may do that. All right, losing more people, so time to wrap up, I guess. Net, just chopping sideways at this point. CWB, probably going to extend down lower. SQM, my expectation is to go down to 40. DD, be careful on these. This is why don't chase sideways stuff, because you see what happened here. Sideways choppy and breaking down back to the lows. This is why I don't like sideways choppy. Topped out, topped out, topped out, topped out, and back to the bottom. KMB. Extension lower is what that looks like. It's set up to do. 114. TXN. Ooh, rejecting off the 1272. Back to the roadmap line would be my guess. Could hold at 618 and go for the 618 at 179. But again, the downside potential is greater than the upside potential for me at the moment. And then DWAC, some point or another, coming back down there. Bias for the day. If you hung out with me, thanks for sticking it out. And I think we're topping. It's just a matter of today, tomorrow, next week. FOMC coming up next week. That could be the tipping point. I don't think we're going to explode higher more. I don't see the bull case on this. So be careful out there. Come join me in Discord if you got questions and want to talk about it. And see you guys and gals later. I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the alerts. Make sure you set the alarm. I'll be back. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15. See you.